Action. So today we will be watching real agents teach other agents how to lead generate. In 2025, if you want to grow your business, you have to listen to the experts that are growing their business. So if you ever want to join us, please do. We are super excited to see Reganne. Okay. Hey Reganne, what are we doing today?
We're here to talk about lead generation.
Why is a lead generation important to you?
Well, because I wouldn't have business if I don't lead generate. And it's all about keeping the pipeline full, but also just consistent.
Who will be speaking today? Who are we going to hear from?
So Raj is moderating, and then Dylan and I are going to talk to everybody.
Yay! One piece of advice for any agent in the business, regardless they be new, seasoned, or doing this a short time, what advice would you give them?
I would say don't spread yourself too thin and do too many things. I would say pick two things that you're passionate about to lead generate and keep that consistent for at least 90 days to be able to see some good stuff.
All right, we're excited to learn about your mailers.
I'm excited to teach.
Yes. I want to give you all one short piece of advice. If you truly want to grow your business, I think that you should truly listen to experts that are doing so. Please join us as Elite shows you all how to lead generate, keep your business in flow, assist your clients, all while maintaining that high fiduciary responsibility. All right. Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome to the Mastermind event. Please introduce yourselves.
So I'm Tim Wright. I'm a licensed real estate agent in Dalton, Texas.
And I'm Megan Wright.
Yes, and we have the right team. So, Tim, how long have you been an agent?
I've been an agent for 5 years.
And what is one piece of advice for lead generation that you would give to maybe a newer agent?
I think the biggest piece of advice in terms of lead generation is tell everybody that you're an agent. All your friends, your family, people love to support other people, but they got to know you're an agent first.
Yes, thank you. And one last thing, what made you guys want to join us today?
So I'm all about knowledge and power and always kind of just level up. And this is a good way to kind of, be around other people in your industry. And just see, what they do to level up and take something away from it.
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining us. We love the right team.
Thank you.
All right. Hello, sir.
Hi, how you doing?
Who are you today?
My name is Jeremy Wilson. I'm a real estate agent with J. Paul Realty.
And how long have you been in the business?
Getting ready to go on about 5 years now.
Yeah, you like it? Is it crazy?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have known you for quite a while, and I would love to know what are 3 things that are top priority to you that you do in order to service your clients.
Number 1 is definitely communication. Whether it's by phone, text, or email, I'm always available. And I say always available within reason, obviously, but what I mean by that is that, for instance, I'm not responding to you right away. It's probably because I'm in the middle of something else, but I do get back with you. You're not going to have to follow me and chase me down like, oh yeah, I meant to call, within an hour or so, I call somebody back. Within, minutes, I typically text back, same thing with email. So that's number 1. Number 2 is improving my client experience. I want my clients to feel safe and secure in knowing that when they work with me, they know that they're working with a professional, they're working with somebody that's knowledgeable. That's why I continuously try to strive to better myself. I have my GRI, it's my Graduate Realtor Institute. I have my seller's representative designation. I've got my accredited buyer representation designated. So I'm also doing that. This year I'm looking at getting my broker's license to just kind of up my game, try to up my, what I can provide to my clients as far as that experience. The other thing is that I go a little bit above and beyond when it comes to looking for homes. I'm not just looking at what's on the MLS. I'm always driving around, so I'm always looking and seeing things that are available that may not be listed with other agents, something that may be for sale by owner or contacts that I have. They're like, hey, I want to sell this, but I don't want to put it on the market and have a bunch of people come to look for it. Do you know anybody? So I have those kinds of connections that I'm able to bring to my clients.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for joining us. Thank you for the support, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
As well as how we run our relocation page, and then just client events as well. But I can't say enough about them. Last year at Rise Conference for Real Broker, 24,000 agents in the brokerage at that time. And I remember they announced the top 10 for most transactions in the United States. And number 9 was right here. And I remember saying, wow, yeah, round of applause.
Good job, Dylan.
I remember thinking, wait, I know those guys. I had lunch with them a couple weeks ago. They're in our backyard. And so I'm so glad that you can make it, because what they're doing with Facebook groups and a lot of their client care events, direct mail strategy is why they're dominating. Number 9 in the United States. So another round of applause for Reganne and Dylan. All right, perfect. First things first, introduce yourself, a little bit about you, family, whatever, and let them know who you are. Go ahead. Sure. Ladies first.
Yeah. Well, I am Reganne Queen. I am originally from New York. I moved down to the Central Texas area because of the military. I am a military spouse. I have 2 littles, and that's just about me.
So yeah, I was also moved to Texas from the military. So I grew up in California, so I guess I'm one of those people. But yeah, I was stationed at Fort Hood, now Fort Cavazos. So I spent about 5 years there. Kind of started doing real estate while I was active duty, fell in love with it, and decided that's what I was going to do when I got out. So got out of the Army in 2020, and the rest is history.
Perfect. And my name is Raj Sapu. I'm not Jeremy Knight, as you can tell, but my goal is to get you tactics in 2025 to level up your business. So really excited to jump into this. First things first, what I always heard from both of you is that it was the Facebook groups that really took off, and more so community. Like, you created this community online, and then you turned that into this large business that got you all the awards that you've gotten so far. Give us a high-level overview of Facebook groups, like your target audience. What did you post? Just start from the beginning.
Yeah. So high level, I mean, our audience is military. We work a ton around Fort Cavazos, and then we also kind of do a lot with North Austin because we have the Army Futures Command here. So our emphasis was on helping military. We created a PCS page, and so that has been a great way for us to just be directly in front of our audience and have kind of exclusive rights to that. But additionally, we are on pretty much every like spouses page and any other like relocation or anything group, pretty much anything about the military in the local area we're on. And then we also have a network with agents across the country in other military bases, or really kind of, we've gotten tactical with coordinating with these groups that have people that are actually moving out to this area on a regular basis. So it does tend to be the military groups, but also like several people around, specifically like California, Oregon, Washington, since, you know, we've gotten a lot from the West Coast, specifically coming to Texas.
Got it.
And then I think to add to that, so Dylan mentioned the spouse group. That's primarily where I have found my niche, and then mom groups, parent groups in the local area, as well as the specific local community pages. So like the citywide pages, different expos, things like that.
So when you say these different groups, how does that translate into your group that you have maybe a little bit more control over? Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with like the purpose of our group. So what's beneficial is that we get to kind of lead that group the way that we want to lead it. And so we created PCS Fort Cavazos. I got a little parentheses Fort Hood because there's still a ton of people in the military who have not become accustomed to the change yet. So with that, our focus was on helping. And so we don't even advertise any of our own properties or anything on there. We don't even really advertise our services. But it's allowed us to grow something where people consistently see us giving advice about the area, consistently see us talking about, you know, PCSing or things that are military specific regarding their move, especially. But I mean, it's not all focused just on them moving. We try to make sure that it's all encompassing so they know that we're experts on the area as opposed to somebody just looking for their business. So one of the great things and kind of like our guiding principle has been like, if you help others, then the business will come. Like, you don't need to be constantly focused on, hey, are you ready to buy? Are you ready to sell? It's, let me help you. And then when they do have something, they go, oh, Dylan helped me with this, or Regan helped me with that. And so it kind of starts that conversation, and there's already trust that's been built. And then I'll let you talk.
And not only in our specific page, so I see a lot, I mean, I was that spouse. I lived the story of PCSing. Dylan understands it from an active duty perspective. I understand, raising kids and the topic of schools and daycares and the safety and all those things. And so questions like that, I have stayed top of mind because somebody will post, hey, I'm PCSing or I'm moving to the Central Texas area. I need schools, I need daycare recommendations, I need pediatric, whatever it is. And then they'll say, and we're potentially looking to buy. What will happen is, what I see is realtors will just say, I'm a local realtor, contact me to buy and sell. What I've found and why people have appreciated and we've made this trust is because I answer all of those questions first and I leave out the real estate side. And then I'll say, I'm gonna DM you some really good resources that we have, because over the last couple of years, we've built different guides and local guides to just showcase the area and highlight. And so with that, it's a great way to build trust. That's one thing that has stuck with me since the beginning of my real estate career, is building trust, because without that, you're just another agent to them, and they don't understand there is good people out there that want to actually help and assist. And so pulling off of the PCS page, that's another way that we reel that in so we can make connections, and it may not turn into something, and that's fine, because I sleep at night knowing that I'm able to help a mom who's nervous about a daycare because I've been there, or a spouse moving.
And quick step back real quick, because I know that we get used to some of the terms. I know there's a lot of folks that are involved with the military. PCSing is permanent change of station. So PCS is permanent change of station. PCSing is the common term for when somebody in the military moves from one duty station to another. And so in like a civilian term, it'd be like a relocation page. And that's kind of like, our niche is military. However, all of this you can do in Austin or San Antonio or whatever other city, and you would just rephrase that to relocation or moving to Austin, San Antonio, whatever. But yeah, just so that we all have the same vernacular.
Yeah. That's great. That was my next question. Although most of my best friends are military, so I got it. But I appreciate that clarity. Yeah. So, how many people in here live next to a military base? Okay, a bunch. So this is applicable to you. So that's great. For all the people
Which, by the way, you guys in Austin, you do, because there's the Army Futures Command here.
Yeah. And you got a good referral partner. I think average agents listen to this and they say, military base, I'm not next to one, forget it. Okay. I think above average agents who are great marketers listen to this and they hear the nugget. What's the nugget? The nugget is they started with providing value. It wasn't starting this Facebook group to get leads, I need business, I'm desperate for business. When you have that attitude, you have that mentality, I think in every lead generation method, it's over. Everything that you do is gonna feel like an ad. How many people wanna be advertised to? Nobody, right? And I think what they both said that I thought was awesome is they started with value. Value first. And I think all of us, regardless of whether you live next to a military base or not, we all can provide value in some way of community. A lot of people in here, like how many people in here already have a Facebook group?
Or part of one even, yeah.
How many people in here like have 1,000+ people in a Facebook group? Okay. So walk us through the beginning, like day one when you started that Facebook group. How did you get people to join? How did you get them to post, engage? What did the beginning look like?
I'll let you start because you created it, and then we'll bring me in.
Yeah. So I started the group, gosh, it was probably 2018 or 2019. It was pretty early on into me getting my license. And I had the erroneous assumption that I could just make a PCS page, and because there are people who know the term and they're coming to the area, that they would join. And so I started out, you do the thing where you add a bunch of your friends in the area or whatever. So we had like 100 people in that, like, it was just all of the random people. I was like, hey, join my group. But we really didn't do a lot outside of the basic kind of, hey, you know, like if you're moving up the area, such and such. And so I just thought that it would grow eventually, again, because of the name. And what happened is that it sat at like 100 to 200 people for years. And I kind of forgot about it. And then we started the team and we were like, okay, we really need to make something of this. Like, let's figure out how. And as soon as we got active on it, we went from, I think it was like 150 people on the group to like 1,000 or 1,500 within the first year. So we started with probably mid to late 21.
22.
Okay, when we started being active on it, and now we are like just shy of 6,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll let you kind of talk about like how we built that.
Yeah, so in the process and talking about relocation, the whole goal was what resources are people needing and what are those prompting questions that we can ask in the group and, you know, start getting that engagement. The whole point of it is to have engagement because people will see that it's active, but also it needs to be valuable. That's why that was one of the biggest decisions of no advertising, even for ourselves. The only way that it gets there is if somebody's like, hey, we need a realtor, then we go in and you have tags. So we'll start with the prompting questions, I think, if you guys could pull that up. So like Dylan said, we added a lot of our support network, referral partners, friends, clients that we worked with, and we did some really good questions. And we actually sent some of these out, and these aren't all of them, but we would ask them, hey, so-and-so, Dylan, can you go in today and ask, like, what is the best local dog park? Not real estate related, just providing value, because, I mean, how many of you are dog owners, you know? So what we would do is to start prompting questions about the area, like, what can I do this weekend? People who are moving to the area want to know what's going on, what do we have? Daycare is always one that I see, doctors, things like that, so feel free to take a picture. The whole point of this is to have engagement, show people that this page is active and there is resources. Do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I mean, the other piece of that too is you're bringing in somebody, you don't want to keep going in and asking yourself questions basically, or like posing to other people. What you're getting to show is that you are the local expert. And so we have folks that are coming in, again, just like a friend that will have come post the comment. We know when they're posting the comment, and so we can get on there immediately, and they've just logged this softball up for us so that we can hit it out of the park. And now people are like, oh wow, look at this great prepared response that they had. Like, they're so smart and they're so quick on it. These guys are so helpful. Like, I want to know more from them. And so yeah, it provided engagement because, you know, Facebook, the way that it's going to operate is that if people are searching for certain information, that is going to show up, and then that's how they'll find our group. And that was where we were making the mistake before. But having these prepared beforehand means that we get to see the comment or the post as soon as it comes in, and we get to have a solid response ready for it so that we're always the first people. And then people start to see that. And I don't know if you guys have been, like, I know even on some of the larger Facebook groups, Real Estate Mastermind and stuff, I see the same people over and over because I've liked their comment or something, and so now it's going to show me more of what they're posting, and so that's exactly what you're doing. People see your comment, it's a great response, it answered what they wanted to know, they like it, and then every other post that you put or every other comment, Facebook is going to alert them and say, hey, you liked what this person was saying before, I think you'll like this again.
And these are really important questions that you should be taking if you don't run a group into other groups. Be the person that starts asking questions, or make a video. If you're at a cool restaurant that just opened, be like, hey guys, I just went over to, you know, this new Mexican restaurant, check it out, it's down at XYZ, you know, come join me for a margarita or something. And when you start showing up again like that in other groups, in the community pages, they always will come back to your name because there's value, there's information, there's new stuff. They want to know what's going on because you're that community expert and are able to provide that. So you don't have to just run your own Facebook group. It's helpful because you can play Big Brother and do what you want with it. But, you know, being active in the other city pages, the subdivisions, all of that. So start prompting questions there. If you have a neighbor there, have them ask so then you can comment and look, you know, high and mighty like you know what you're talking about.
So in other words, what I'm hearing you say is be prepared, right? Like it's Facebook groups are like similar questions kind of over and over again. Nobody's really searching within the group for past questions.
Right.
A lot of them are repeating the same thing, and you're prepared to give them value. It all comes back to value more than anything.
Create, like, go through if you're on a Facebook page and find the top 5 questions that are always asked. Create a prompt, save it in your notes so you can copy and paste that and just post every single time. That had helped me a lot. There was always the daycare question. There was always what is there to do. And so there was a prompt that I would say, you know, oh, I just saw you're moving to the area. I'd love to send you my local guide, our PCS, our relocation guide that we have for you. So you have all the cities across the greater Fort Cavazos area. And they were like, oh my gosh, like that's amazing. Copy and paste. And then, you know, then it starts into that lead generation of building that pipeline in that community.
You were doing that helped it hit an inflection point and go up, or was it just a matter of like posting consistently and letting it spread?
It was posting consistently. So like we had we would post local events, we would post little snippets on like on post knowledge and things like that, like some of the departments that you should reach out to. But these questions were really the biggest thing, because what it showed in our algorithm and what it showed to other people was that it's not just a couple people putting a bunch of information out there with their own posts. We have multiple people that are posting on this, and then sure, there's like a few people that are commenting regularly. But what's important, I mean, I don't know much about the algorithms, but at least what I have been able to intuit from this is that Facebook wants to see that a lot of people are engaged, as opposed to just a couple people posting helpful things. And so once we started having a bunch of other people, and that's why the important thing was not just having Reganne set this up so that I have a softball and then I do it for her. It's, you know, asking anybody else, Jeremy, can you post this? Rambo, can you send something now? And then, so a bunch of people would post these questions. And now instead of having 2 people making posts, we have 20, 30, 40 people. And then, you know, getting your clients involved too. You know, you close on something and we would a lot of times have somebody that's like, oh my God, like we just had this amazing experience. And you can even kind of coach on some of that stuff too, where you're like, hey, like, don't come in here and just like say, hey, call this person for your realtor, but, you know, talk about your transaction or anything like that. But yeah, it's having these that at the start, it needs to at least look organic, the posting. And that's what a lot of these pages do too, is they're going to have other people. So once you start to get the fake organic posts going, I think our inflection point really was once we hit about 1,200 people, we started getting real organic posts.
Yeah.
And then it's just continued to kind of snowball from there. So yeah, once you get to about 1,000, maybe 1,200 people, you don't have to do these as much. But honestly, like, if you want to keep growing it, these kinds of things are super, super helpful. And then the other part you talked about, the realtors, like everybody comments on it. And one of the really helpful things, like, yes, you can still do this on somebody else's spouse's page or relocation page or something. There's a ton of them that are not realtor run, and you can go in and get leads. And I highly recommend doing that. But when it's your own, Reganne mentioned you get to be big brother a little bit.
If you live near us, don't be mad.
Yeah. I mean, it's really odd that when somebody posts on there and they ask who's the best realtor in the area, you have 15 responses for us and then maybe like 1 or 2 for other agents. That is by design. Like, the intent is that, you know, I don't want it to be just 1,000 responses, Dylan. Because then that looks like, oh, okay, kind of, yeah, it's a little fishy. But if we've got a couple others in there, and then, but the majority is us, most people are going to end up giving us a call, and it doesn't look like you're like curating the group too much. And as much as that can sound, you know, underhanded or whatever, like this is our lead generation. You don't buy Realtor.com leads and go, hey, this is Dylan. By the way, have you talked to Jeremy? Jeremy would love that. But I mean, in the end, like that's what we're doing. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be that. A lot of times if we see a comment coming in because we approve all of the posts, I'll let folks know, like, hey, we're about to have a post that asks for a realtor. Will you pop in the group and recommend us? So yeah, if you own the group, like you are pretty much going to own the leads, because anytime somebody goes in there, that's what they're going to see. And what you're getting with that is not just the person who made the post, but there's a lot of people who have probably been to another area before and they've made a similar post, and then their DMs have been filled up with 1,000 messages from realtors, and so they're like, I don't want to do this, but I will be a fly on the wall when somebody posts. And the amount of times, it's honestly so much more often that we're going to get somebody that reaches out to us on one of those posts that was not the original poster. So they'll go, hey, I saw your name pop up a ton, like you must know a lot about the area. Can you help me? And I'm like, yes, I can. So yeah, that's what is really nice about having your own group. Are we doing questions right now? I know Rainbow's had one for a bit.
I might have missed it off the corner of my eye.
Yeah, you're good.
I know, I keep
Any questions, Rambo?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
go
have
ahead.
a couple of. So when somebody posts about like asking for a realtor or one of your questions, do you have an alert on your phone, or do you always check? Is there a
So
add-on?
I'll talk about the.
Yeah.
So we have it set up where it's a public group, but in order to be a part of it, you do have questions that you have to answer. So I'll actually go into that about that lead capture. But for any post, we have to approve every single post.
Okay.
One, to keep it obviously appropriate and the culture and community that we want in there. Two, to make sure that there's no spam, because we don't allow advertising, so no like for sales, not even our stuff, you know, all the the duct cleaning things that pop up all the time.
It's always there, Doug.
Yeah.
So we'll see that ahead of time. So then I can say, hey Dylan, by the way, I'm about to approve this, or hey, this is the question coming in, like so and so. I want to talk about quick what the prompts look like. So this is step one to our lead generation. So to join the group, you come in and you answer these questions. So I want to know if they're already here, if they're coming here, and then do any of the following apply to you? Are you renting, leasing, selling, buying? There's other options, but this was just the first person that I had picked. So what happens is when I see that they're PCSing here or they're looking to buy, sometimes even renting, we'll actually reach out to them and say, hey, like, welcome to our group. We're so excited to have you come to the Central Texas area. Please let us know what you guys are looking for, what you're needing, how can we assist. There's a ton of great stuff, and I'll refer them over into our page in like the About section. We have the link to our PCS guide. Just starting that conversation. The big thing here is making sure that we're doing it right away. And so that's how we get into the DM. And then we can start generating that conversation there. That might have gotten a little ahead probably of what you got to, but I wanted to answer that part because that's a super important part, which we didn't do in the beginning. We had these questions set up, we weren't actually reaching out first. And again, it's the first value prop that they have, and they're like, oh my gosh, somebody actually wants to help me. I didn't have that at my other base or where I was moving to or from. So yes, that's how it's set up. You have to go through the questions, and then every post we will actually go in and manually approve or decline.
But I heard some people have these tools that will alert them, like if somebody says realtor,
Yep.
it will pop an alert.
Yeah.
I have
Do you use it?
I have an app like that I did use. I found it was helpful to a certain extent, but also it got a little bit too broad, and so it wasn't quite what I needed. I have times where I'll just allocate time to scroll on Facebook per se and go through not only just the PCS group, but other Facebook groups. It's just kind of part of my day because that's just our lead generation. And so I'm on Facebook a lot, just looking through what advice can I give, what, I see the notification, obviously, when somebody joins. We do have that set up so it comes through the Facebook. You could set it up to send to your email or things like that, just like any other CRM or tool. But
I'm sure there's a ton of like, there's probably an AI tool where it can go on here and they say looking to buy or sell. And if it has that, it like auto approves them and then sends them a DM. I'm sure there's something like that. We haven't implemented it. By all means, if that's something you want to do, it's one of those where we probably get anywhere from 5 to 10 people requesting to join the group a day, and so that's something where I can just hop on like twice a day and look through them and approve, and then send a quick message. One thing that I do use is your phone's hotkeys. So a lot of this I'm just doing on the go on my phone. So if you guys have ever, I don't know if it's on Android, but at least on your iPhone, like you type like OMW, a lot of times it will say, it'll go to on the way.
Yep.
Or OT, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't use that one. But so what you can do in addition to that is actually go in and create a hotkey. So like we have a transaction coordinator, and my introduction, instead of saying, hi so-and-so, this is Sarah, our transaction coordinator. I want to introduce you. Here's what she's going to do, blah, 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 blah. It's like a little paragraph introducing what she does. I say, hi so-and-so, and then I type Sarah TC, and then it auto fills to this big paragraph that I've put in there. And now I just saved a ton of time because I don't have to type this thing out every time. And I do the same thing on our messenger. I have something, I think it's like PCS admin or something. I forget what my hotkey is
and it'll
for right
populate just that whole conversation.
Yeah.
Use that in anything. If you have certain systems like that set up in place, that's been a game changer for me. I thought he was kind of crazy for doing it and kept telling me, and I was like, fine, I'll get on and do it. But yeah, that's been awesome. And like I said, just keeping templates, like questions too, copy and paste that. Do the same thing with a hotkey for those always. If you see it more than 3 times, it's going to be a repetitive question that's always brought up. And so just take that 5 minutes to set that up on your phone, and then it's just a habitual thing that you just do.
Yeah.
I'm asking both these questions from the context of me not running the group, but like trying to go to other groups and be active about it.
Yeah.
That's my
And-
specialty.
The second one is I see these posts a lot in Facebook. The same way somebody asks like, hey, do you guys know anybody who's a realtor who can help me? We see like 30 people.
Yeah.
And I don't even feel like posting my name under it because like it's too much noise. So like how can I? But I started doing DMs to people directly, whoever asked that question, but so far I haven't gotten any response. What do you think is a good, like, give value first and then give them more resources?
It's going to depend on the page that you're on, really. So like Reganne mentioned, some of her best ones are the mom groups and the spouse pages.
Spouses, yeah.
And so what happens a lot is it's not even people going, hey, I need a realtor and asking these questions. It's people going, what do you guys think of this daycare? And she responds, or, you know, what about this place? And she's giving information consistently, even when it has nothing to do with real estate. And so she's getting herself, her name is going to pop up there more. But when you're talking about like, again, like Real Estate Mastermind is the one that I've been on a lot. It's going to be really difficult to be able to like give some additional value because you've just got a group of realtors that are it's designed to just send referrals. And so it's a little bit of a crapshoot where a lot of times people, when they get these, they've got like referral groups. And so you'll have a text chain or a messenger chain or something with 30, 40 people on it. And then you'll be like, hey, somebody's coming to Fort Cavazos. Can you guys tag me? And that's what happens when you get those. I mean, if those are, I don't know. I have opinions on some of those things, but it happens. And the fact of the matter is that's the game, and sometimes you just have to play it. It's going to be a lot harder on those pages as opposed to something where you can provide value.
I think my biggest recommendation for that is, I don't want to say stay out of those big pages, go to your community pages. And with those questions, if it truly is just a basic, I'm looking for a realtor, always ask the question, I would love to know more about what kind of realtor you're looking for. Are you looking to sell, buy, are we looking to invest? Because that may not fit what your niche is, so you can't help them, but it could also turn into a conversation where you can refer them to a partner that could serve them better. We've done that all the time. So take the very broad question that they're asking and ask them a question to that. Don't just say, yep, I'm in the area. Say, what kind of realtor are you looking for? I would love to know more about how I can help you. And if I am not the best person for you, let me get you to my whole network of people. That alone has changed the whole dynamic of the conversations I have. And because I'm always answering or providing more detail, they're like, oh, I didn't even know there was different kinds of realtors. I didn't know people specialized in things. I didn't know that, you know, some people don't even know how to, you know, list a home, or, you know, they don't work with buyers. I didn't know that. And so again, it's just taking what they're asking, and, you know, sometimes you do have to pull some information out of them. But coming back with, you know, here's why. That's already setting you apart from just saying, yep, I work in Clee. I'm a realtor in Clee.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How much does it cost to start a Facebook page?
Zero.
How much have you invested in your Facebook page?
Zero.
Start your own Facebook page, right? Like, it's I think you get it. Those other groups are so busy, it's crazy. Patricia, you have a question?
So how often do you post a day and a week?
So when we started it, it was like 2 or 3 times a day. I would post questions, or, so here's another hack that I found. Because I'm on a lot of other pages, so like the city pages, events, there's like one that's called Fort Cavazos and Killeen area events. I would reshare, because I don't have to spend the time making the content. I don't have to spend the time searching for events. I just reshare. And so that's one place, but my name is the one that's sharing it. So they're like, oh, at least she knows what connections to find. Same thing, it doesn't even, again, I bring up military because that's just where we're at. They have certain events that are specific to the base and only the base. And so I would share that. Any volunteer events sometimes we'll let through. But yeah, so in the beginning it was a couple times a day. And so it was always like one question and then a reshare of a different page. Now, because we have so many people and they are coming with questions or recommendations or, you know, other things, I don't have to do that so often, because it is the new year and we want to make sure that there is a push and we want to continually grow. We are starting to push a little bit more in that. And it doesn't always have to be about the post. As long as you're commenting, like it, heart it, tag somebody else, you know, I'll tag Dylan in something, or, you know, so as long as there's activity and engagement, whatever, you can do that. But yeah, if you're creating a Facebook group, you know, you need to consistently be on that.
Yeah.
But
That's,
now it's pretty organic, so.
For me, it's one of the things that's nice about Facebook as opposed to like Instagram or TikTok or YouTube is, you know, and like other social media, a lot of times you have to be creating good content. Like, sure, you can do your quick little like trend post or whatever, but what's really gonna draw people to your pages typically is actually providing content that they want to consume. The nice thing about Facebook is that you can just very easily repost content without even really having to add anything to it. And because it's in your group, like that kind of gets you points as the content creator. So you don't have to go through this whole like, okay, well, let me make a script and let me get a video and let me make sure that I have good hooks and it's entertaining and they're gonna watch it all the way through. No, I can just have a couple posts that, you know, City of Killeen has put out on like a notice, or like I just had somebody had mold in their house on Fort Cavazos. And then so like we just reposted that and people were like, oh my God, like I'm definitely buying off post. And I was like, ooh.
We allow the pot to be stirred sometimes. The drama is fun.
So another thing that you said is that you don't always say, oh, well, I'm a realtor, or as a realtor.
I try not
whatever.
to. I try not to.
So I've been to like other meetings and talks and stuff, and they're always saying, well, don't be a secret agent.
Right.
So how do you balance being in your face and a secret agent?
Such a good question.
I love that question. Do you want me to go? I identify and ask questions to relate some other way because I carry a lot of different hats and I've learned how to carry those hats. So not only am I a realtor, I'm a military spouse, so that's one connection that I can make. I'm a wife, so I don't know if anybody else is married to husbands, but that's a whole different topic that we can go off of. We need support groups for that. I'm a mom of 2 girls. I have dogs, I have cats, so that's 5 already. And then down to what hobbies I have. I like to bake. I like to, go spend time on vacation and travel. And I'm a very type A person. There's a lot of people I connect with just because we kind of work the same way. And so those are the questions that I like to answer. So when I see another mom, I revert back to the daycare thing. I've been there. That's how I relate. And then it's the conversation of why are you moving here? What are you looking for? It's a lot of upfront time, but just that conversation there has built so much rapport with that individual person that they're like, I don't want to talk to anybody else because I trust you. So I love to advertise, and so on my social media you'll see obviously my posts, but I very rarely have just posted come buy and sell with me. It's always, what am I doing in the business? What is my family doing? And where are we going? The things that we do. And then people just know you for you, not just that you're trying to, hustle in real estate. I love that. And it's a conversation that when they bring it up or, I see that, then I bring in a prompt later that's like, by the way, we've talked about so many things. I'd love to know a little bit more about your home journey. Where are you guys coming from and what can we do?
And to touch on that too, I think there's a big spectrum where you've got like secret agent and in your face. And the important thing is to not be on either side of that. It's the equivalent of like, if you're walking into a room, like you don't just go, if you're at a party, you're not just gonna go, hi, I'm Dylan, I'm a realtor. Hi, I'm Dylan, I'm a realtor. I'm gonna get to know people, and then eventually it's probably gonna come up in the conversation. I get to know people, we share hobbies, and then at some point, it's probably gonna come up, what do you do? Or, like what brought you out here or something. Oh, like I'm in real estate. And then it comes up, but you've already created somewhat of a relationship. And so I'm not being a secret agent where I'm like trying to hide this. I don't want people to know. I just am not being completely in your face with it at the very beginning so that we can create a relationship. Because if you start out by saying like, hey, I'm a realtor, especially if you're just meeting somebody new, immediately in their head goes, I'm getting sold.
Yeah.
Somebody's trying to sell me something.
Yeah.
That's great. Melissa, I'll come to you in 1 second. Reganne hit a bullseye there. What does she say? She connects with them emotionally first, right? Not realtor first, not I need to get your business first. It's connect with them emotionally. Once that happens, and I think you do a great job of that, Reganne, because I've seen your posts, then people connect with Reganne first, and then they find out that you're a realtor, right? You post about listings on your personal page, and you're at an open house or something like that. So when they think of real estate needs, who are they thinking about? Not the person who's trying to sell them, like Dylan said. The person that they connected with emotionally, right? Dogs, cats, military spouse, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Melissa, you have a question, go ahead.
A few times you've mentioned guides. I struggle with guides because it's kind of like you give them this whole complete guide and they don't need you anymore. You give it about the daycare. What are you?
Yeah. So the relocation guide, we have a couple different. So we have buyer specific ones for new buyers. We have a listing guide that I take to a listing appointment, and then our relocation guide. That has been like our baby. That has also just helped a lot with the Facebook page. It's just free guides that we provide. So when I know that somebody is moving to the area, I always offer that to say, hey, I would love to email this for you. So in the guide, it talks about.
I got it, you can take it, but I'm totally gonna do it. So I've always been told that you have to look for problems, right? Like you identified a huge problem of what it's like to move to your area, right? I think in Austin, there's a little bit more action with moving to Austin. That group's already established. With that being said, the big problem that I'm running into is I can't find pickleball courts anywhere, right? Is anybody running into that? It's like I gotta get the 9 p.m. on a Wednesday night, and it's packed. It's like 40 courts, and everybody's playing pickleball at 9 o'clock at night. So I was thinking about creating a pickleball group and then do it around like the new places that are coming up. There's 3 places opening up in Round Rock and Cedar Park. I want to get into pickleball. I want to keep accountable, so I figured the best way is to get a group.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply what you said. Right questions. Have Rambo. Right questions.
Yeah.
I did not think
Yeah.
about
No, it's already done. Yeah. So I'll be your co-admin, right?
With that too, there's actually quite a few like PCS or moving to Fort Cavazos groups. Like we are not the only one. There is competition, but the thing is that like there's multiple that kind of have several thousand, and it's just about everybody's going to capture different leads. There's a little over 150,000 people in just Killeen right now, and there's several cities around that. If other people get, somebody else has got 10,000 and I've got 6, it doesn't matter because I'm still closing. We close like 15 a year or something from this. And so you can do that for your neighborhood. You can do that for pickleball. You could create like Wells Branch is like a larger section. Like you could do anything like that, whatever niche you want to have. I mean, I'm in we have a college referral group. We have like a West Point, use real estate or something like that. And I get a ton of leads from that. Whatever niche you have, the biggest thing is like find something that you have a competitive advantage in and build around that. I'm not going to probably be able to go and create a group about motherhood. I don't have kids. Oh my God. Like, it's not gonna work. If I tried to do that, it's probably not gonna take off well. Whereas, like if you did something around pickleball, or we do something around PCSing, or even if you just do something in your local neighborhood where you can give information and provide value, that's what you can do. Don't worry about competitors being in there. As long as you are continuing to provide value, like the followers will come. And again, even if there's something else where, you did something in our area and we've got 6,000 people and then you guys have one with 1,000, like it doesn't matter. They're not seeing that. Nobody's comparing it and going, oh, well, these guys have more people, so like they're probably better realtors. Like you guys can absolutely make one and still pick up leads in the area. Just because we have one doesn't stop you from doing it.
There's no Facebook group judgment, right? On how many
Right.
members you have. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
exactly.
And you're just taking a small percentage of those 6,000 people, and that's a big real estate business. That makes sense. So that's great. So in the last 5 minutes here, give us a high level of client care events, then we'll move to direct mail, and how if you are incorporating that with like your Facebook group, is there a correlation? Just start off with client care events.
Yeah. So, I mean, the client care stuff that we do, it's like if you guys watch Lana Rodriguez and what she does, like you're gonna be sorely disappointed in the things that we do because she is so big on like client care events. They do these massive things. Now we are building up to do something more like that, but really what it is for us is just keeping in front of our clients. We have a group of realtors each year that do a like a summer event, and so we go out there and that's great because you get a ton of people around. And it's not like this weird, like, let me try to steal your leads kind of thing. Like, it's a collaborative thing. And so it's nice because your clients get a fantastic event that maybe wouldn't be feasible if you were just to put this on with your own funds. But they also get to see that, like, you are actually collaborative around the area. Like, it's not just a fully competitive thing because sometimes that gives off kind of weird vibes. But then, so in addition to events like that, we will do pop buys. So like we just did pop buys for some businesses for Christmas. And then we have things where we'll do like pie deliveries or just anything like that where you're staying top of mind with your clients. Like we kind of change it up each year what we want to do. So we have client gifts that we'll hand out. But yeah, it's really anything that you can do to stay in front of your clients. And like you would be surprised at how much people appreciate when you go buy a stack of $5 pies at Costco or something and deliver them, and they're like, oh my God, it's so great seeing you. Come in, by the way, like we got a new dog, look what we did with the floors. And like you get that, and then they'll go, oh, by the way, I had so-and-so is moving to the area, I almost forgot to tell you, I'm glad you showed up. Like, can you help them out? And so just continuing to do stuff like that is going to keep you top of mind for your clients.
When's a great time to do those pop buys?
Whenever you want.
Okay.
Try to do it like every 3 months is ideal. Especially when you have a lot more past clients, like you may have to break it up even more. I like to do stuff around holidays.
I guess I'm thinking like what time, because I know like some people work.
Oh,
you know,
so yeah,
like-
depending on base it around what you want to do. What we
Okay.
did when we did pies is it was not like one day. So we've done 2 different ways of like pie delivery. One, we were like, hey, we've got an event, come here like 3 hours or whatever, and I think we did pictures with Santa because this was a December one that we did, and
then another local area. And so I get mail often that is just trash and I throw it out as I'm going. The whole purpose behind this was obviously lead generation, but in a very creative way. Dylan a couple years ago had done a trial run of recipe cards, but after talking and revamping this past year, we elevated it. So not only do you have the recipe, but down on the bottom, when you scan to cook with me, it actually takes them to our YouTube page. And so I will actually pre-record me cooking in the kitchen this recipe. Again, this is because it's a connection. They can see me in my kitchen because, I mean, even if you're just making cereal every night, you're still in your kitchen cooking. We can do a cereal recipe. But it allows me, one, to see how many people are scanning. So that makes me aware of who is actually getting my cards. It doesn't say who scanned, but I can see numbers. We can see views, and we've also been able to see growth on our YouTube just from this.
Wow.
So on the back, if you can skip that, you'll notice that there's very minimal advertising. So yes, we have our team logo, but you'll see what my passion is. And I identify, I'm a military spouse, a mom of 2, entrepreneur. My passions are to help others. If you need an agent to navigate whatever it is, we're here for you. This is much less in people's face rather than just the please buy and sell with me. I hate getting that. So I want something that somebody's going to put on their fridge and maybe keep, or just maybe throw on the counter because they want to make it, and then 6 months later they find it and they'll do that. So in the first 2 months of just the first 2 send-outs that we did, we had 3 leads. So 2 of them which I should be listing this spring. We are doing a trial run for all statistics, so I don't have the numbers right now, for a year. So this is something that's sent out monthly. It's to just under 5,000 mailers.
yeah.
And so you'll see, and we can connect about it later. Every door direct mail, just right through the USPS is who I do it through. You can pay for companies to be able to make the mailer, do all that. I didn't want to spend that much because I mean that was thousands of dollars just for their service. So we created the template on Canva for the recipe card. USPS has a whole thing of what needs to be on the card, the dimensions, all of that good stuff. I use Print Place to be able to print the cards. They get shipped to my house. All I have to do from them is take the selection through the USPS site. I pay for the postage. It's already done. So all I have to do is stack the cards, put the label, the front label on of what route it is, and then just take them to the post office and they do the rest there. It's a great way to spend a couple of hours to now target thousands of people for one route versus me trying to get 5,000 people in one room. That's not scalable. What we're going to implement now this year is doing a drink pairing of some sort with the recipe that I'm pushing out to continue to elevate a little bit more, bring in the team with that. And then on our team days, I'll be cold calling or circle calling the same list. So that's another elevation that we're adding into it because you can't always track this if they don't reach out, right? So now I have a connection way to say, hey, I just wanted to follow up. It's Reganne in your neighborhood. I wanted to make sure that you got my recipe card. 1, to see if they got it, and 2, to make another connection. It's not just a direct like, hey, do you want to sell your house with me this year? But then it starts another conversation and TID point of just building that trust and the rapport.
Yeah, you're building your farm and you just continue improving upon it. So like this whole, I know we've got the highlighted part here, but that whole pink area is where we end up sending these postcards to. And the great piece of this is it's something like 30 cents, I think, a postcard when you send.
Yeah.
So it's the cheapest possible way. And the way they operate is that they literally just give one of these to every single house along their route. And so you can purchase several routes. So sorry, I'm pointing back here. We've got it right here too. You can purchase several routes, and you can do as much or as little as you want. Again, there are companies that will do this for you.
Yeah.
It's a heck of a lot cheaper if you're just willing to do it yourself, because really the only labor that is involved, and it's not insignificant, but you get the postcards delivered to you, and then you separate them into stacks of 100, and then, like if this one's 877, so it'd be like 100 or 50, however you want to do it, and then a stack of 77, and then you just bring those into the post office after filling out like a very basic form. For me, I think, that like hour or two that you spend doing that is, especially when you're doing this at a high volume, it's way more worth it than paying another company double just to have them send it.
So, okay. And then
Thank you for dinner tonight.
question. Yes, it's actually.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's great. So that was awesome. So can we give them a round of applause? That was amazing, right? I will send an email out with Reganne and Dylan's information. So if you want to connect with them, you want info on their Zoom class, then we can plug it in that email if that works for you guys. And then we will have an event next month, February 19th.